Hey guys, Spark here, and today we're going to be talking about the new Hearthstone patch. The patch notes will be in the description below, but we'll be going through all of them in this video, giving you my thoughts on the new changes and what benefits the new cards will have, well, the new changes. So this is version number 1.0.0.4458, and yeah, let's go on to the first change, what they made. So the first one is for Hunter, and this is for Unleash the Hounds. This did get nerfed before, but what they did was before, when they changed the ability, they left the 4 cost mana on it. The mana cost was 4. As you can see, this card was recently modified, of course, by the patch. I'll have pictures of all of the old cards next to it, possibly here, so you can compare it and see what's been changed. So on this card, the only change what they've made was the mana cost. It is now 2, and now I can actually see a use for this, because it was 4 last time. So for each minion, summon a 1/1 hound, enemy minion that is. It wasn't worth it for 4 mana, but I can actually see this being worth it now for the 2, as you can have a starving buzzard on the field and basically just draw some cards from it, and then a Timberwolf to give him a 2/1, because Timberwolf is only a 1 mana cost card as well, and quick show that as well. So you can buff it up with this to basically just draw some cards, and that's like turn 4 you can actually do this combo. So it would be actually decent if they have like 2 or 3 creatures out, minions, so you can actually draw 2 or 3 cards just on turn 4 basically. And if you have 5 mana and have a Timberwolf, you can always play that as well and give them 2/1 with charge, and then next turn just place a snake trap, because you have your buzzard out. When they attack one of your minions, you summon 3 1/1 snakes, so you get another 3 cards. So it can work really well now with like the other cards, and that's a good thing. I might need to put it in my 100% beast deck, as I can definitely see a use of it now. So yeah, let's move on to the next card they changed, and this one's for the mage. I don't have it, so go crafting mode. This crafting mode is kind of hard to get around. What the hell? Alright, there you go. So the only change here is the mana cost as well. Before it was an 8 cost, now it's a 10 cost. The only reason I see they changed this was like the spells that the mage have all early game is pretty much can just build up to this, one-shotting you by the time they play it. That was turn 8, and basically now they've made it 10, and there's a legendary that is a 9 cost, and this is what you might have to watch out now. So when they have 9 mana, watch out for this legendary. I don't know what it's called, but I've seen it being played against me and it's not nice. It has spell damage +5, so as soon as they play that, you can expect Pyroblast on turn 10 for 15 damage, and that's gonna hurt you very bad. That's half your life gone already if you're still on 30 for some reason, I do not know. So watch out for that combo. I think it's gonna happen a bit more if people have the legendary and the Pyroblast in their mage deck. So that's the changes for the Pyroblast. And the next one is a nerf to the Warlocks, and this is the Blood Imp. Before it was a 1/1 and give all your friendly minions a +1 health. Now I can see it just being a weaker young priestess, as it still has the stealth, and what it does now is at the end of your turn it gives another random friendly minion +1 health. So I might leave this in my Warlock deck because it still gives the +1 health, but it does it at random, so it might not give it to the one that you actually need, and having 2 of these out, it might just keep buffing up the Blood Imp, and you can't even attack. So as you can see, we're gonna go find the young priestess now, and as you can see here is the same thing but without the stealth, and it's a 2/1 for 1 as well. So it's a weak one of these, but the Blood Imp does have stealth, so it can stay on the board for longer than a Young Priestess. The next one that has been kind of nerfed is... I need to get off crafting mode, oh my god. Alright, Warsong Commander. The only thing that's changed is the ability. Before it was give all your other minions charge, and now it's whenever you summon a minion with 3 or less attack, give it charge. So I don't see a use for this. I didn't even use it in my charge deck because my charge deck is based around creatures actually having charge. But this worked in other decks. The only reason with it now is I don't see that it's useful to have is that you could just put a Wolf Rider, and that's a 3 attacks, and that has charge already. In even the Bluegill Warrior, which is a 2/1 with charge, so I don't really see the point of having this. But it can work if you basically build a deck around this and have all low cost minions deck. So just take a load of 2s and 3s mana cost creatures and basically some spells, use this with it, and it will just give them all charge, to be honest. But everything will die easy, just say that. So yeah, that's not really worth it now. The next change they made was the charge, and as you can see here, before it was a 0 mana cost. I used it in my charge deck because I basically played a War Golem, which is a 7/7, and I just put a charge on it and I smack him for 7, so it's a 7 charge basically. But now it's a 3 mana cost and give a friendly minion a +2 attack and charge. So I don't really see it working with anything now. Maybe if you keep it, because that's the thing, it has the buff and you really want to buff it when you want to, but with a 3 mana cost it's kind of hard to buff something big. So then again, it can be used on a weaker creature, but even then it's not even, I don't feel it worth it now, so I'll probably take that out of my deck and change my deck around, because like I said, there's no point of using that now. The next change is for the neutrals, and it's Abusive Sergeant. Before, this was give a friendly minion +2 attack for the end of the turn. This is just give a minion +2 attack this turn. So if they have creatures and you play this, you have to buff one of theirs minions up. So you can't just play this. And same goes to Dark Iron Dwarf. This is just now give a +2 attack this turn. This isn't permanent, I don't think, because it says this turn. But before it, this was permanent. So that's a kind of big nerf to the Dark Iron Dwarf. And I might need to take this out of my decks and actually change it, possibly for the Yeti, because that's a 4/6. But if you have a deck based around buffs, this is still good to have, as it buffs it for the turn with some raid leaders as well, and just do some more damage to the enemy, I guess. So the next change is crafting mode. There you go. Defender of Argus. The only change this has now, well, what they made to it is they reduced the attack by 1, so now it's a 2/3. Before it was a 3/3, of course, and nothing else has been changed by this. So I feel it's a good, like, it's still a good card, because it's give adjacent minions a +1/1 and taunt, and it's just crazy off that buff, to be honest, because you could just play it between like 2 small creatures, give them the buff and taunt. And it depends what you actually have on your board. This actually trades for like 1 or 2 anyway still, so reducing that isn't a big problem, and I feel if you still have this card you should still use it, because that buff is amazing. Now this one, everyone used this card and they kind of nerfed it kind of big. Oh, alright, I need to take up this. So they changed the Noviv Engineer, and basically before it was a 1/2, which actually stayed on the board for a little bit, but now it's a 1/1 and a 2 mana cost for just draw a card as soon as you play it. So I don't really feel it's worth using this now, and you should actually use, because they kind of nerfed it kind of bad, and the loot hoarder is completely the same, so I'll probably have to crate these and put them in my decks and take out the engineer, because these, it has 2 mana cost as well, but it's a 2/1 and it usually trades for something better. Before it was a 1, the engineer was a 1/2, so this is just a 2/1 and the death rattle, so when it dies then you draw a card. So if they keep it alive, you can actually trade something and then just get the card straight after. So I feel this is better to use now than the engineer, so I would have to go through my decks and change that. So the last one that it changed is the Sylvana. Oh my god. Sylvana's Windrunner. I didn't have this card before, but I have seen it been played in Arena, I think, and I just silenced it. And the only thing that's been changed is the mana cost. Before it was a 5, so it was a 5/5/5, and it took control of one of your, like a random enemy minion when it dies, which is a pretty good legendary, to be honest. If they have like something, if they have small creatures, then it's not good. But they just changed it to a 6 mana cost. Delaying it for a turn, I think it's still worth using this card anyway. It's still a good card. You can get Warlock 6 cost for 6/6, but then deal 1 damage, but this is actually a mind control in this. They can silence it to get rid of it, of course, but delaying it 1 turn is, I feel it's not that much of a nerf to not use it. And that's all of the changes that's been made in this patch. Like I said, the patch notes be in the description if you want to go check them out anyway. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. Just, I needed to do one of these, as if anyone is wondering, like, oh, why don't this card do what it's meant to do? Most probably because they changed it. So it's like a reference, I guess. So if anyone needs to, they could go back and watch this. This is version 1.00.4458. Now I'm going to go through all my decks and make sure I make changes to them, because I have to update all of my decks, because for the ranked, I'm using all my decks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll speak to you in my next video. See you later.